Good afternoon. My name's Glenn Miller. I'm Head of Student Services at York College. I'm here to give a brief induction around funding that's available at York College for students starting this September. There will be a chance to submit questions as we go through the chat option, and we'll try and answer as many as we can at the end, if that's okay. Okay, so I'm Head of Student Services. We do a lot more support in that team other than funding, just to make you aware of the other kinds of help that are available. We've got emotional support, which is counselling, mental health, practical support, careers support, including UCAS applications, transport, which I'll be talking about again later this afternoon, and health, staying safe, safeguarding, and much, much more. You can access all these services by visiting the info zone or the help zone in college, or find us on the college webpage under student services. Okay, so first things first, those students who are aged 16 to 18 are eligible generally for free courses, so you don't have to worry about paying for any course fees. They're paid for by the government. Now, if you are aged 18 when you start your course and it's a 2-year course such as A-levels, then you won't need to pay in your second year either. However, if you take a 1-year subsidiary diploma or a 90-credit diploma while you're 18 and turn 19 before you enrol to the next part of the course in the following year, you may need to be paying fees in your second year, so just to be aware of that. Any questions around anything like that, or if you're aged over 19 and are concerned about fees, then please contact the funding team and they'll be able to advise on fee remissions and loans and other options that might be available to cover the cost of your fees. But for 16 to 18-year-olds, generally you will not have to pay any fees. Okay. Just to mention that eligibility for free fees is also based on residency. So if you're not a UK national or haven't been in the UK for the last 3 years, then you'd need to contact the International Department for advice. Okay, so obviously fees are a big cost that you don't need to worry about if you're under 19. However, you'll be aware that there may be some other essential costs linked with attending your college. So these could range from anything from transport, equipment, uniforms, trips, meals, etc. So you'd need to check into college before enrolling as to what those costs might be, depending on the course that you're doing. Some courses will obviously be more expensive than others. If, however, your annual household income is below £25,000, then you may be eligible for what we call the York College Bursary. Just to add that if you're an apprentice, this doesn't apply. This is only for students on non-apprenticeship courses. As it's a bursary, it's not a loan. It doesn't have to be repaid. Whatever funding you receive is yours to keep. Now, you can apply for a bursary via our website online, and this is the link. Now, my colleague's just going to bring up the website page, and I'll just show you what you need to click on in order to find that and in order to apply for the funding. Wonderful. Okay, so this is the York College website. So if you go to the home page, look for student support, scroll down to the third option, which is funding, and it will bring up a page with lots and lots of information. At the top of the page, big orange tab here. If you click on that, it'll take you to the next page. Click on apply for funding now, and it takes you to the application form, and you just need to complete every page with as much detail as possible. Once you get to the end of each page, click continue. If you filled it in correctly, it'll allow you to go to the next page. Otherwise, it'll tell you if you've missed anything, and you'll have to go back and fill it in again before you can progress. Okay, so that's the application process to apply for the bursary. You can apply for that bursary regardless of age. So if you're over 19, you can still apply for that and be assessed for support. You will need to provide evidence of household income, and you would upload that generally with your application. But if you're having difficulty doing that, you can also email them to the funding email inbox, and the funding team will add it to your application afterwards. Okay, so what kind of costs can you get help with? Obviously, one of the biggest costs, and where most of the bursary funding goes for our students, is on travel costs. You'd be assessed for eligibility based on a number of things. One of them is distance from college. If you're 3 miles away or have mobility issues, and we have evidence of that, then it would cover your travel costs up to a maximum of £10 a day. And the number of days is based and awarded according to your timetable and method of travel. If you're using our college coaches, then we would automatically issue you with an annual pass that you can show to the driver on your mobile phone, so you wouldn't have to pay. And if you're on service buses or travelling by car or some other means, what we generally do is put a back's payment into your bank account on a weekly basis, so you're paid weekly to cover the cost of that, and there's a petrol allowance by car. What it doesn't cover is the cost of parking at college. It doesn't cover that, just the actual costs of the travel itself. Other costs you can get help with: 100% of essential equipment, uniform and studio fees. Check with your course what those will be. If you apply for the bursary and get that, we'll cover the full cost. If you meet additional government set criteria, you may also be eligible for free meals, and the way we award that is £3 per day towards the cost of your lunch, again paid by BACS payment. We pay 100% of any essential or compulsory trips that are essential for the course. We don't cover optional trips, unfortunately. We cover the cost of travel to a compulsory placement for those students if it's more than 3 miles away. And in your second year, when you are looking to apply for higher education and are being invited to open events and interviews and things like that, it'll cover £150 worth of travel costs in one academic year to visit up to 3 universities. We give a little bit more to performing arts students because of their requirement to pay audition fees and things like that. We also help with childcare costs if you are aged over 20. If you have childcare costs and you're aged below 20, then we would recommend that you refer to the Care to Learn scheme, which we can advise on if you come and contact us, if that applies to you. Okay, so some additional information. If you fall into any of these categories, if you're a carer, if you're in care, a care leaver, or living independently and receive certain benefits, then you might get something called the enhanced bursary, which will cover everything I've talked about plus more. So you may actually get some weekly BACS payments on top of everything else. Now, what the funding team do is they try to aim to have everything in place for when you start your course. But bear in mind, we're very, very busy at the moment. We're being inundated with applications, and turnaround isn't immediate. It can take several weeks. So the sooner you apply and the more information you can provide, the better. If you start your course in September and you haven't heard back from the team, or you haven't got anything in place and you're struggling, don't despair. If you come to the info zone or contact us from home during your first week, the funding team will be available for immediate advice, and we'll try and fast track you through the system to make sure your support is in place during that first week. There's a number of ways you can contact the funding team. They help with everything from tuition fees, travel costs, student loans, etc., as I've mentioned. You can come to the info zone or the help zone in college. There's a telephone number on the screen now, York 770-443, but at the moment they're not generally answering the phone because they're focused on carrying out the assessments. The best way to contact them is to drop an email, funding@yorkcollege.ac.uk. And that's about it. I'm sorry that's been very, very quick and brief. I appreciate that for a lot of people, funding is a very individual circumstance situation. So please get in touch. Have we got any questions at the moment? None at the moment. Okay, well, thanks for listening. Good luck. And don't forget the funding team are around. Drop us a line, drop us an email. If you have any problems with your application or have any more questions, please do get in touch, and good luck and enjoy your time when you start with us in September. Thank you.